Hi, this is Eric Lofholm, and I'm excited to be with you here today. I wanted to invite you into my living room, and I'm going to train you right now as if there was just a small group of people here in my living room and deliver a motivational sales training for you. And my intention is to teach you 7 golden nuggets, give you an overview of the Eric Lofholm sales system, and deliver $100,000 in value to you. Real ideas that you can immediately implement to take more action now. Now, if you're meeting me for the first time, I want to share with you a little bit about my background. I was very successful right out of high school. My first job I ever had right out of high school, I made over $100,000. That's pretty good, wouldn't you agree? Now, I didn't make over $100,000. That would have been a great story. Kid right out of high school makes over $100,000. No, I made over 100,000 hamburgers. I was a cook at McDonald's. And while I was a cook at McDonald's, I was attending community college, which you're supposed to go to, of course, for 2 years. I went for 5 years and never graduated. So I was not exactly on the fast track to success. I had no goals, no direction. I was just kind of wandering aimlessly through life. And then everything changed for me. And I experienced a turning point. And my turning point happened when I attended my first seminar and I met my first mentor, Dante Pirano. And I was so inspired by Dante's message that I went to work for him and I became his assistant, which was a part-time job. And I had to do something else for Dante when I wasn't being his assistant, so he offered me a sales job. At that job, I was the bottom producer at that company. At the end of my first year, I missed quota 2 months in a row, and we had a 3 strikes and you're out rule. So I was about to be fired from my job. My manager pulled me into the office and he wrote me up and he said, "Eric, you're my bottom producer. You missed quota 2 months in a row. If you miss quota 1 more month, we're going to let you go." So my back was against the wall and I had a very real problem. I didn't know how to sell. So as you're watching this right now, if you've ever struggled in sales before, or if you're struggling right now, I want you to know that I understand, because that's exactly where I was at. So I created the intention that I was going to increase my sales results. And it was at that time that I met my first sales mentor, Dr. Donald Moyne. And Dr. Moyne trained me on his system. And the next month, I hit the quota by 1 sale. I did $10,000 in gross sales. I made the quota by 1 sale. And the following month, I did $51,000. I went from worst to first in 60 days, and I've never looked back. I've gone on to do millions and millions of dollars in sales. And what I learned from that experience is that selling is a learned skill. Selling is a learned skill. I then went to work for Tony Robbins. I was with Tony for 3 years. And then I branched off nearly 2 decades ago and started my current company, Eric Lofholm International. We're a global sales training organization. And our mission is to help people just like you make more sales. So I'm excited to share these 7 golden nuggets with you and walk you through the Eric Lofholm sales system. There's 3 parts to the system. The first part of the system is the sales model, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. The second part of the system is the sales mountain, and that's simply another name for your outline, and we'll cover that on today's video. And then the third part of the system, I made more money from this third idea than any other sales that I've ever learned, and that is sales scripting. And we'll dive in today into what sales scripting is. So the way that I've generated millions and millions of dollars in revenue is I learned and developed this system, and I just do the same thing over and over and over again, because human beings respond in predictable ways. I want you to imagine right now, if you had a step-by-step system that you could just do over and over and over again, how much more successful could you be in sales? I have 2 outcomes for today's video. My first outcome, share with you these 7 golden nuggets, and I'm going to go kind of quick because I got a lot of powerful information to share with you in a short amount of time. My second outcome is to extend an invitation for you and I to enter into a mentoring relationship. And at the end of today's video, I'm going to extend a special invitation for you to work with me and be trained step by step, in depth, into my system and have me professionally train you in sales for as little as $50 per month. And after I've trained you, I'll give you all the details on exactly how that works. Now, I've got my golden nugget index cards right here, and I'm going to go through some of these ideas in addition to my flip chart. And your first golden nugget is possibility thinking. And I had a conversation not too long ago with the great Les Brown, and we were talking about possibility thinking versus realistic thinking. So let's just say you work for a sales organization that has 100 salespeople on your team. Is it realistic that over the next 12 months, you're going to be the number one producer on your team? Now, if you're already one of the top producers, maybe that's realistic for you. But for most people on the team, if there's 100 people, it's not realistic that you're going to become the number one producer. But here's the question. Is it possible? Is it possible that you'll be number one? And of course, the answer is yes. So here's the question. Let's say that you started taking action based on the possibility that you were going to become the number one producer on your sales team. In this example, if you had 100 salespeople on your sales team, if you started taking action as if you were going to become the top producer 12 months from today, would that increase your results? Yes or yes? You see, back in 1999, when I started Eric Lofholm International, I had a dream. And my dream, my vision was to become the Zig Ziglar of my generation. Now, at that point, I was 28 years old. Nobody had heard of me. So was that realistic that I was going to become the most recognized sales trainer of my generation? No. But was it possible? And so for the last 19 years, I've been in pursuit of that dream, of that vision. And every day I go out and I take action and I do videos like this, or I do coaching sessions with my clients all over the world, or I do speeches or webinars based on possibility thinking. So I want you to think about what is possible for you. All right, back to our golden nugget cue cards. Here is golden nugget number 2. And this is the number one way that I have grown my business since I launched back in 1999. And I built a global training company, and I built the business from scratch. And the way that I did it, the number one way that I did it, is prospecting outreach. Prospecting outreach could be you reaching out to people in your database. It could be you following up on previous clients. It could be you following up on leads from networking events. It could be cold prospecting. It could be you doing social selling and reaching out to people over LinkedIn or Facebook or some other social media method. Let me ask you a question. Do you recognize right now that you could grow your business and benefit by doing more prospecting outreach? That's the number one way that I built my business. And for those of you that choose to work with me in my mentoring program for as little as $50 a month, one of my classes, it's a 3-module class that you'll do with me virtually, and I'll teach you every tip, trick, secret that I know to successfully prospect, to get you into action and get out there and prospect even more. So let's dive deeper into the Eric Lofholm sales system. So the first step is the sales model. So what do I mean by sales model? Well, I'm a big believer in dissecting down the sales process. I don't like to look at it as this big thing, because if you're working on this big thing, then how do we get better? So instead of looking at it as this big thing, we dissect it down into smaller sections. Makes it easier for us to wrap our arms around it. Makes it easier for us to get better, and we get better one section at a time. And it starts with the sales model. So if I was coaching you one-on-one right now, I'd want to know, what is your sales model? In other words, how many times do you meet with the prospect before you then ask them to buy from you? So, do you meet with them one time, which would be a one call close. Like the way the Girl Scouts sell Girl Scout cookies. You walk up to their table at the grocery store and they look at you and say, would you like to buy some Girl Scout cookies? And it's a one call close. Or do you do a one call, two call close? You meet with them once, you gather information, you meet with them a second time, you ask for the order. It's important to know this because this influences your sales outline, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And it absolutely influences your sales script. One of the things that you'll learn through the rest of this video, and if you choose to work with me, is I'm very methodical in my approach to selling. I'm very step by step. I call the principle stage selling. Sell the prospect to the next step. Now, another example, and there's other examples beyond this, one call, two call, three call close. Meet with them once, meet with them a second time, meet with them a third time, and then at that point, you're going to ask for the order. So the very first thing that we need to do is figure out what is your sales model. Now, if you choose to work with me for as little as $50 a month, I have a class that you'll go through in depth on sales model to help you get total clarity on your sales model. Because what I believe in is holding you by the hand and guiding you step by step and coaching you. And I've found in all the years that I've trained, the best way to train that I know to get you results is if you get into action. So when we do classes, we work together in the classes. You have homework, which is really success work. And in this case, in this class, you would get clear on your sales model. All right, let's go deeper. So the next step is the sales mountain. And sales mountain is another name for sales outline. And I love this metaphor because what we're doing here, in this example, you're a mountain climbing guide and your job is to lead and guide the prospect up the sales mountain into what we call the sweet spot. The sweet spot is the top 25% of the sales mountain. So think of it like this. From here up, top 25%. From here down, bottom 75%. We start down here at the base of the mountain with lead generation, and we're going to lead and guide the prospect up the sales mountain into the sweet spot. You see, I believe that selling equals service. Sell from honesty, integrity, and compassion. Selling is about leading. Selling is about moving people to action. Okay? Selling is about leading the prospect, guiding them up into when you're going to ask for the order. Now, one of the beautiful things about this particular process, it's step by step. Now, this concept is called Sales Mountain. It's actually generic Sales Mountain. Because what you're going to do is you're going to take this idea, which is simply an outline for your presentation, and you're going to customize it for what it is that you do. So if you do a one call, two call close, mountain one, mountain two. If you do a one call, two call, three call close, then it would be three mountains. So let me guide you through some of the steps of the sales mountain right here. And the first step at the base of the mountain is lead generation. Now, if I was coaching you one-on-one, I'd want you to have multiple lead generation systems. In other words, things that you can do that will predictably produce leads for you, online and offline. So let me ask you a question right now. Do you have enough leads right now? The hub of your leads is your database. So do you have a place that you have your leads in your database? And then are you systematically staying in touch with your leads? Now I'm going to give you a bonus golden nugget right now. This is from some of my latest thinking about sales success. And it has to do with familiarity. One of the ways that we make buying decisions is we buy what is familiar. If you do prospecting outreach to somebody and it's a cold prospecting outreach, it's only cold one time. Because the next time you reach out to them, assuming you got through to them, the next time it's not cold anymore. They're now warm market. And if you start reaching out to them via email, social media, the more you reach out, direct mail, you call them, the more you reach out, the more familiar they are with you, the more comfortable they get with you. So, lead generation systems, leads go into the database, systematically stay in touch with your database. That's your clients or customers, and then your leads. Now, if you do that, you're going to make more sales. Some of you can make an additional $100,000 off just that one idea. So the next step is appointment setting. The purpose of setting an appointment is to set an appointment. The benefits of the appointment are different than the benefits of your product or service. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create appointment setting scripts and appointment setting templates. So a template would be how you'd reach out to somebody if you're prospecting them over email or text or direct message on social media, and you get that template and you can modify it. Now, those of you that choose to work with me for as little as $50 a month, we have a 3-module appointment setting class. And I train you step by step. I give you all of my templates, all of my scripts, and then you're going to create your own templates and scripts so you can book more appointments. The next step, now we're on the live presentation with the prospect, and it's trust and rapport. When you start off your presentation, oftentimes the prospect is like this. Watch this. Rapport reduces resistance. Rapport reduces resistance. I want you to strategically go into your presentation with how you are going to produce and create rapport with your prospect. And then the next step, identify customer needs. The easiest way to persuade or influence somebody is to find out what they want and give it to them. So what I would want you to do is go into your presentation and know the questions you're going to ask the prospect in order to identify their needs. Now, have you already prepared your probing questions? You know, I ask that question of a lot of people, and you know what a lot of people tell me? They go, no, Eric, I never have. So, one of my classes is a probing questions class, and I give you a list of 150 sample probing questions, and then you would create your own probing questions. So now you're professionally trained, and you know exactly which questions to ask to truly identify the needs of your prospect. All right, next step, share the benefits. People buy benefits. You need to know what are the key benefits of your product or service. Bring them to life in your presentation. And I want to give you your next golden nugget. And this was taught to me by my mentor, Dr. Moyne, over 20 years ago. And one of the great things about great sales ideas is every time you learn a great sales idea, you can use it on your very next presentation. And then every presentation thereafter for the rest of your life. So Dr. Moyne gave me this one little idea, but I took action on it. I've used it thousands of times. And it has helped me generate millions and millions of dollars in sales. So here's what he told me. He said, Eric, figure out the success stories that you want to tell in the order that you're going to tell them in. In other words, Eric, before you go and meet with your prospect, this is your outline. So before you meet with your prospect, predetermine the stories you're going to tell. And a little story formula, step number 1 is the problem that the client or customer, your success story that you're telling to your prospect, before that client or customer bought from you, what was the problem that they had? That's number 1. Number 2, what product or service did they buy from you? Number 3, what was the result that your product or service produced for them? And then number 4, what was the benefit of the result? That's a little story formula. That is pure gold. Let me ask you this. As you've been presenting recently in your presentations, have you been going into your presentations knowing the success stories you're going to tell in the order you're going to tell them in? Before I teach this to people, they've usually haven't done this before, or they've done it sporadically, but not intentionally. And this is why The conversation we're having right now is so important. And this is why I'm so excited to continue training you on this video and then work with you beyond this for as little as $50 because I have hundreds and hundreds of additional golden nuggets to share with you. And if you see me getting passionate and excited, it's because I am, because I love this work, because I know the more well-trained you are, the better you are, the more success you're going to have, the more confidence you're going to have. So you can pay off all your debt and you can invest and buy a home if that's what you want, or become a millionaire, or grow your business, or buy a nice car, or whatever the case may be. So I want to share with you a quick success story about one of my clients. Her name is RV Robinson. And when I met RV, she had never been professionally trained in sales before. She's a public speaker and a coach. Now, my sales system works for anybody in any industry. She happens to be a public speaker and a coach. And she was uncomfortable asking for the money. She was uncomfortable with sales. And she joined the same program I'm going to offer you at the end of today's video. It has a new name. The name of it now is Elite Sales Success. It used to be called something different back in the day. And so RV joined the program. And I professionally trained her and helped her become confident. She learned how to powerfully ask for the order. And as a result, her sales and her income went up. When I met her, she was making about $4,000 a month. And her bills were about $4,000 a month. And now RV regularly has months where she makes $15,000 to $20,000 in a single month. And I transferred a skill set over to her that she now has for the rest of her life. And as a result of increasing her income, one of RV's dreams was to become a homeowner. And she's now a homeowner. She also wanted to become debt-free. RV's now debt-free. So she got trained. She's a homeowner. She's debt-free. She's significantly increased her income. And she has this skill set for the rest of her life. And that's what I want for you. And that's why I do what it is that I do. I love it. This is what I'll be doing. God willing, health permitting, I'll be doing this work until I'm 75 years old. As of this recording, I'm 47. I'll be entering my 20th year this January. I look for people like you that want to go from good to great. I look for people like you that maybe you're just getting started and you want to go to your next level. Maybe you're a top producer. I've worked with a lot of those. You want to go to your next level. Wherever you're at, you know inside of you, you're capable of more. And if that's you, then I would love to work with you. Now, I've got some more great golden nuggets to share with you guys. So, after we bring the benefits to life, and one way to do it is through a story, now we're in the sweet spot. And that's where we close. And what I would advise you to do in the close, script it out. Know what you're going to say, when you're going to say it, how you're going to say it, why you're going to say it. I dissect the close down into step number 1, transition into the close. Step number 2, the body of the close. And step number 3 is the final close. The transition part is a statement like this. What I'd like to do now is share with you how I work with clients like yourself. Or what I'd like to do now is share with you the next step for us to work together. That's a transition example. The body of the close is all the details, the price, what's included, the guarantee or warranty, bonuses, incentive for purchasing today, how it works, shipping, terms of the payment, method of payment. And then the final close is the ask. What I would want for you is to know what your transition statement is going to be, what the body's going to be and how you're going to say it, and how are you going to ask at the end of the final close. Now let me ask you a question. If you knew exactly what you were going to say in the close, do you think that'd make a difference in your confidence? Yes or yes? It's something Tony Robbins taught me when I worked for him. When two people meet, the person that's the most certain will almost always influence the other person. When two people meet, the person that's the most certain will almost always influence the other person. What does that mean? It means you put certainty in your body, especially when it comes to asking for the order. And what you're communicating to the other person is confidence. It attracts them to want to buy from you. The only way to do that, you have to work at it. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I know exactly how to train you, exactly how to teach you how to do the close. In fact, that's one of the classes we do, teaching you step by step how to put your close together. All right, let's go deeper. So you got objection handling. They say, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I need to think about it. Can you send me some information? And then this follow-up over here is if you've asked for the order and they say, I need to think about it, and you try to overcome the objection and you still didn't overcome the objection, so now you're going to follow-up scenario. So that's what that is over there. So that's just a kind of a quick example of the Sales Mountain. And that's one of the classes that you get for $50 a month. I'm going to teach you how to create your own customized Sales Mountain. I'm going to transfer that skill set over to you, so you're going to have it for the rest of your life. And I still have several golden nuggets to share with you guys before we wrap up. Part 3 of the Eric Lofholm sales system is sales scripting. I've made more money from this one idea than any other sales idea I've ever learned. And my mentor, Dr. Moyne, is really the pioneer of sales scripting. And he taught this to me over 20 years ago. And I went from bottom producer to a top producer, in part because I created an outline for my presentation, which is Sales Mountain, and then I scripted it out. There's many different types of scripts, but for today's video, we're just going to talk about 2. We're going to talk about your appointment setting script and your main presentation. With appointment setting scripts, that's like your phone script to book the appointment or your appointment setting template. Once you have that down, that will help you fill your calendar with qualified appointments. Your main presentation, that's knowing exactly what to say to get somebody to buy from you. And here's your next golden nugget. You get your main presentation down and you do it over and over and over and over and over again. Like if you're a real estate agent doing a listing presentation, you put the time in, and there is some effort, no question, okay? But you put the time in to get a great listing presentation. And then you give that listing presentation for the rest of your career, and the money comes in. It's like a license to print money. Billy Joel's one of my favorite musicians, and as of this recording, he does a show about once a month at Madison Square Garden. And I'm sure every show is about the same, and at the end of the show, he and the band walk off stage, and everyone yells, "Encore! Encore!" And eventually, Billy and the band come back out, and they play Piano Man. He gets a standing ovation, and the concert ends. The concert's probably pretty much the same every time. Great comedians do this. They put a routine together. They do it in Miami. Everybody laughs in Miami. They take it to New York. They do the routine in New York. They laugh in New York. They laugh in Dallas. They laugh in Chicago. Human beings respond in predictable ways. Take the time to put together a great sales script. So your next golden nugget is there's 5 components to putting your sales script together. Stories, benefits, objections, the close, and probing questions. So it starts with those 5 lists. And from there you craft it into a professional sales presentation. I learned this from Dr. Moyne, and I had invested thousands and thousands of dollars with him. I added it all up one day. It was about $30,000 that I invested with Dr. Moyne, and it was probably the greatest investment I ever made in my entire life because of the ROI that I got on that $30,000 investment. Warren Buffett, one of the things he talks about, and he's recognized as one of the greatest investors of all time, he says one of the greatest investments you can ever make is in yourself. Because if you think about where are you going to make the majority of your money between now and the end of your career, it's probably going to come from what you sell. So this is why it just makes sense to get professionally trained by somebody like myself who's passionate about training you. I have the step-by-step system. I have the classes to motivate and encourage you to take action and get better. And I want to transfer that skill set over to you so you have it for the rest of your life. So what I'd like to do now is simply extend an invitation for you and I to enter into a mentoring relationship. I mentioned it a few times throughout today's video, an opportunity where you and I can work together and professionally train you. And the program is called the Elite Sales Success Program. And it's all about teaching you how to become elite in sales. The first question I'm always asked is, well, Eric, how much is the investment? And the investment in the Elite Sales Success Program, it's a one-time investment of $1,297. Now ask yourself, how many sales do you need to make to earn back $1,297? And it's probably 5 sales or fewer. Now, one of the things that I'm known for in my industry is irresistible offers. And I mentioned a couple of times in the video how we can work together for as little as $50 a month. So I'd like to walk you through all that's included and then let you know the special that we're offering on this video. So the next thing is, what are you going to learn? Well, I'm going to teach you my appointment setting systems. How I book appointments on social media, how I book them with texting, how I book appointments with email, and how I book them by making phone calls. I'm also going to teach you my systems of how I generate leads online and offline, using social media, using networking, using referrals, using technology like the video that you're watching right now. I'm then going to teach you step-by-step how to close. And I actually believe I've got the finest system in the world at teaching the art and science of closing. So if you're not closing at the ratio that you know you're capable of, let me teach you how to do that. And then I'm going to close you on objection handling. Step by step, how to handle any objection with confidence and ease. And then I put together what I believe is the finest script writing training in the world. It's a 5-module class that you take over your computer, and I do it live a couple of times a year. And the way I train is in classes, because I am passionate and motivated about what I do, and I love motivating people like you. So you can come to the classes live, and we have at least one class a week. And if you can't make the class, I always record it. So let's say I'm teaching a class and that topic doesn't interest you. Well, then you just don't have to join that week. Every time I teach a class, there's homework, and here's why. Michael Gerber, the E-Myth, he was famous for saying it's about working on your business versus working in your business. Working in your business is you actually going out making sales. But then there's times when we're developing our skills. And so what I want to do is I want to work with you, teach you the best of what I know. I've been at this now for over 25 years. I'll be starting my 20th year of professional training this January. I've logged over 60,000 hours in this conversation. I know over 1,000 unique ideas on how to increase sales, become more successful, generate leads, etc. I'm like a walking encyclopedia because I love it. And I would love to train you. So the way we train you is in these fantastic virtual motivational classes, so it doesn't require that you travel to California. Although if you want to train with me in California, you can. And let me explain that. What's included? Well, you're going to be invited to over 20 live sessions of classes that you can do virtually. The next way that we're going to train you, I do a boot camp in California once a year, and it's a 2-day live boot camp. It's absolutely fantastic. And if we sold the boot camp by itself, it'd be $997, just the boot camp. And you can come and bring a guest with you, and we teach that once a year. Now, not everybody can come to California. So I teach the entire curriculum once a year virtually. So come and train with me and or train with me virtually as well. The next way I'm going to train you, I have a fantastic membership website. And this is great for those of you that are self-starters. You can go in at your own pace and train right over your smartphone, tablet, or computer and learn my entire system whenever it's convenient for you. It's on-demand learning. The next way I'm going to train you, we have a Facebook group with over 1,800 members, people all over the world. So you can go into the Facebook group. You can ask questions anytime you want. It's a very active group. You can share. You can let us know how you're doing, the success you're having. Ask us whatever questions. So you have access to the Facebook group. And then the last one, I put together an 80-plus page workbook. It has my templates and scripts in it. All my best strategies and ideas of the entire system, you're going to get access to that 80-plus page workbook. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, we've got some bonuses by you watching this video. You just go down below and hit the buy button. And when you sign up, 2 things I'm going to do. First one, no additional fees or dues. Here's what that means. This is a 1-year program, and at the end of the year, instead of your membership expiring, you can stay in the Facebook group. You can continue to have access to the membership website. Those weekly classes, you can keep coming back as often as you want. The 5-module finest script writing training on the planet. Let's say 5 years from now, you're at a new company. As long as I'm still teaching the program, which I started this program in 2003. So we've been doing this for well over a decade. And I plan on teaching this for as long as I'm out in my career, okay? No additional fees or dues. You're going to make a one-time investment, and you're going to have access to this training as long as we're doing it, which my intention is for as long as I'm training into my mid-70s. Second bonus, if you have any family members that could benefit from my mentoring, you can add up to 3 family members. All that I ask is that they're on your family tree. I don't need to know who they are today. Just at any point in the future, just know you have 3 credits. They just need to be on your family tree, and they can piggyback on your membership. Now, the program is guaranteed. And the way the guarantee works, you'll sign up today. If you're unhappy for any reason in the first 30 days, no questions asked, I will give you a 100% money-back guarantee, no problem. Just credit your credit card or debit card. Now, here's the special that we're running, and it's fantastic, guys. $800 discount. It makes your total investment a one-time payment of only $497 to get professionally trained, to generate leads, set appointments, close sales, get your scripts done, get your appointment setting scripts done, be motivated and encouraged. How many sales do you need to make to earn back $497? For most of you, it's 2, or in many cases, just 1. For most of you, this is tax deductible in your industry. And then I mentioned a couple of times about this payment option, and here's how the payment option works. You can get started today for as little as $50. The reason why, I don't want money to stand in the way of you getting professionally trained. So the payment option is 12 payments of $50. If you do the math on that, 12 times 50 is $600. So if you pay it in full, you're going to save $103, or you can do the payment plan and get started today for as little as $50. So what you'll do is you'll just click the buy button below, and you'll get instant access to all of this fantastic training. You can join me in the next class, which will be coming up this next week, and we can help you increase your sales and your results. Couple of final thoughts, and it's this. As you're watching this right now, if you're on the fence, you're like, Eric, this sounds great. I'd love to do it. I'm just not sure. If you're on the fence, just take action and do it. Just sign up right now. Join the program. You'll absolutely love it. You know, I've invested myself through the years about $200,000 in my sales and success education. And for me, what Warren Buffett says, it's been true for me. The greatest investment I've ever made is in my ability to make money, which is me getting better, personal development, sales skills, marketing skills, lead generation, and closing. I believe that this is the finest program on sales that exists in the world that you can do virtually under $1,000 in the world today. There's no risk. Comes with a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. I have trained thousands of students all over the world to help them make more sales now. And I'm excited to help you to become more successful. So take a moment right now, hit the buy button, sign up for the program. Let's get you started, and we can help you to become more successful, and I can transfer this skill set over to you. I want to thank you for watching the entire video. I look forward to helping you to become more successful, and I'd just like to end by saying God bless. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the training.